this is how you can get a mini excavator back upright. Not a great first day for the land clearing, but inshallah it gets better. Hey guys, and welcome back to Aldine Living. Today is going to be our first day working on the land and breaking ground. It's been a long time coming, dealing with all the paperwork with purchasing the land, looking for the land, dealing with the real estate agents, and just looking for land in general is kind of a tiring and not the exciting part that I'm looking forward to. And so it was super exciting and kind of very grateful to just be able to come on the land finally and start working and building the dream. So I got up nice and early. I drove the truck and trailer. Honestly, this is just like my second time driving the trailer. So it takes some practice, but thankfully we made it to the land safely. And that's where we met our first problem. If you can look and see the truck, just trying to back the trailer up, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job backing the trailer up. But then I didn't think this divot that's right there would be as big of an issue as it was. So the trailer, the front of the trailer kind of started digging into the ground a little bit because of the angle. And so I decided maybe if I take the excavator off, the mini excavator, it will help me be able to maneuver the trailer easier. So that's what I'm doing now. One thing I learned about taking the mini excavator off is, and I don't know if you guys can see it right here, but, and maybe I'll make another video about this, but I put some jack stands right at the end of the trailer, right where the ramps are, because when I was putting the mini excavator on or off, the trailer would shift, and then say the excavator is just about to get on the trailer, the whole trailer would then just jump up and down and just tilt aggressively, which is not good for the trailer. It's not good for the mini excavator. And I remember I kind of went for a ride when I did this the first time. I went on the trailer and boom, I was like jumping up and down. So with the excavator off, it was a little easier to get the trailer back, the truck. Still not ideal. The front of the truck kind of almost scraped the street a little bit. So that's going to be on my to-do list, to just get rid of that divot somehow. Whether that be put a culvert in or cover it. That's probably what will end up happening, but I might have to get a permit for that. And so as you can see, I was kind of pretty excited to just get on the excavator, because I just bought this guy. I knew I would need some help clearing the land. I didn't want to do it with a shovel, obviously, and I also didn't want to buy like a expensive skid steer, even a mid-hour one that just works. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything. It costs you over 20 grand, 25 grand. So this mini excavator, made from China, one of those mini Chinese excavators, are pretty cheap. I got this one pretty much brand new for $4,000, which is not bad. The difference between having no excavator and having even a small one is very large. I'll just say that. And it can do quite a lot. It can dig pretty well. Doesn't use a lot of gas from what I found out. And it gets the job done. And so I just started using it to clear some brush, because I was trying to back the trailer up, but there was some small trees and brush in the way that's stopping it. So that's what I'm doing here, and I was doing this for a while. So I learned that maybe using the mini excavator is not the fastest way, so I figured I'll try and use a chainsaw to just go around and cut the big twigs, not big wigs. And that went pretty well, as you can see. Once I cut the kind of from the roots, it was a lot easier to then get in the mini excavator and just move all the brush out the way. It kind of makes sense. I think I was excited to use the mini excavator just because I bought it, and it's big, and I guess, more flashy than a chainsaw for myself, at least. My first time using a machine like this, or just hydraulics in general. But it kind of makes sense that it's a lot easier to cut a branch than to pull a branch apart, which is kind of what you're trying to do with the excavator. If it wasn't so heavy of brush, if it was the brush wasn't so condensed, you'd probably be able to get at the roots, and I was able to do that in some places. But when it's so condensed, it's really hard to just grab and pull or get to the roots, and you don't have a lot of visibility. So I think that was a big lesson from today is, you don't have to use the excavator. Sometimes it's just better to get like a brush cutter and a chainsaw to get rid of some of this. There was a problem with the chainsaw, so one of my brothers came and just was messing with it. It's really his hobby. He likes to fix things like that. I still just kept working in the background trying to figure out how to use this thing, because it was also my first day on the excavator. First day driving a trailer, really, and first day using an excavator, so there's a lot of learning on how to use the boom, how to drive it. And I'll probably do a review on the excavator once I get some higher hours on it, but I will say this for now, the excavator, it's very, very touchy and jumpy. It's almost hard to turn or go straight. It's like very jumpy. I'll probably make a video about that. But as far as having a machine that can get some work done goes, for $4,000, the price of like 3 iPhones, it really does a good job. And so at this point, I felt like I cleared enough brush, so I backed the trailer up completely, and then I kept going on the brush. Even though the day was going a lot slower than I expected, I woke up this morning, I thought I was going to get a lot more done. And honestly, I thought the excavator would work a lot better at clearing than it does. Because at the rate we're going, we weren't going to get a lot cleared. But I think it's important to remember that, it's a learning curve. You got a lot to learn. You're not going to do everything perfectly the first time. And when you try and fail, you learn a lot more. So yeah, so it's definitely a lot of learning that day. And every time you fail, you get better. So, and as you can see, it's not, with the brush, it's not ideal because I just grab it and I move it and then it's in the way. And maybe that's just because I don't know how to use it yet. But yeah, maybe a brush cutter or something of the sort would work better. And so at this point, I started trying to see how well this thing would work for a small amount of grading or just even pushing a small amount of dirt. There's this nice hill. It's a little bit of a hill, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but as you can see, there's some wood on the ground from maybe some people dumping from over the years, and I was just trying to see how well it pushed, and it pushed pretty well. Only problem is the dirt over there is very, very soft, or not soft, but not very compacted. And it was going well, but as with some of these things, you don't know what you don't know until you get stuck. And I got stuck. And it took me a while to get unstuck. Trying to put wood under it somehow, trying to finagle with the boom somehow. It's just not ideal. And talking about those lessons, learn another lesson here. Maybe I need either compact the dirt or just get some plywood if I'm going to try to do this with the excavator, or just rent out something that's actually meant to be moving dirt in this way and use that, and just leave the excavator for digging out the roots or digging trenches or digging foundations and small foundations and things like that, which was the reason I bought it in the first place. And it makes sense. So yeah, I could see I was kind of frustrated. I mean, alhamdulillah, we were able to get it out. You can see at this point is kind of getting a little frustrating. My whole plan for the day was just to clear as much land as possible. And I thought I was ready. I brought, the excavator with me, and I thought I was going to go a lot faster. And then we ran into that problem with the truck parking it, and then we ran into some problem with just, the excavator not being as good as I thought it might be for clearing brushes. And then we got it stuck, and so we just kept running into a lot of problems, which is a good thing because I guess you learn from it and you learn what I learned what I need to do next time. But definitely it was a little disheartening that day. And here I finally was able to climb out. And so at this point I decided I'm not going to go back down the hill. I'm just going to try and work on clearing some more brushes for the day and call it a day after a couple more hours of work. That was the plan, at least. I'm going to see what happens. Yeah, so one thing to know about this excavator is that thing is very low CG, center of gravity. It's very low. You cannot be doing anything crazy with it. The crazy thing is it didn't feel like I was doing anything, like I wasn't tilting or anything. I felt like earlier in the day I had a lot, I was doing a lot crazier things with it, pulling more. So it just felt weird. Maybe I was on a ledge or something. I didn't pay attention, but I just fell. And thankfully I fit through the side window. It was kind of sad. I got out. Then I realized I left my phone in the excavator. I didn't want to get back in there to get it. And then I realized I locked the keys of the truck in the truck. So it was like a double whammy. But the important thing is I wasn't hurt, alhamdulillah. And I was able to contact my brother with my, funny enough, my Apple Watch. So he was able to come and just, bring some of those furniture moving things where you squeeze them. And then we had a metal bar and were able to unlock the truck. So this was a good lesson on, what the excavator can handle and what it can't. And I guess also a good lesson for how to get it up if you're in a similar situation. So the first step we did is we unhooked the trailer, and then we're gonna try to hook the excavator to the truck and pull it up with the truck somehow, and see how that goes. I will say another thing that I learned is it's very helpful to have another person with you. That said, I mean, if you're going to be working on this land for hours and hours and days, it's hard to expect people, even want to ask people for help for that long. But I will say there's been, since this video, there's a lot of times when just like, if anything bad happens, for some reason you're unconscious and no one is with you, it can be a real issue. Thankfully, I was okay in this instance. I was able to call for help. Otherwise, it could have been a bad situation. So you could see here we're tying the mini excavator from its tracks to the truck's hitch. And we're just using a strap because that's what we had, one of those heavy-duty straps. This one's actually from Harbor Freight. And so we tied it, and we're gonna try to drive off in a second here. And this was the moment of truth, and we were able to get it up. So this is how you can get a mini excavator back upright. Not a great first day for the land clearing, but inshallah it gets better. Yeah, so not a great first day, but we're definitely learning a lot. And I'm probably gonna make another video on how to, just a standalone video on how to get the a mini excavator up after it's fallen. I feel like a lot of people might search this video, but I searched a similar thing and I didn't find what I was looking for. And so hopefully when I make that video, it'll be there for when people need it. When you need it, you really need it. And so we carefully backed out of the spot that made me flip. And then we just started disconnecting all the straps and everything we used to get it up. And at this point, I think, we all realized it's probably enough for one day. There's a lot that went wrong today. And it's time to wrap it up. At this point, we're still, just getting the excavator on and off the trailer is almost a process. It is a process, it takes some time, and so I'm getting used to. And here we go, we're about to get the excavator on the trailer and call it a day. It's been a long day getting the truck stuck. Excavator not working out as well as we wanted, and then also just flipping the excavator and locking the keys in the truck. A lot happened, but the important thing is no one died, and we learned a lot. We're gonna come back with a better plan. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna have more content. It's gonna get more efficient. We're gonna get more efficient with this land clearing and trying to build the dream. Obviously, we don't really know what we're doing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but slowly but surely we're gonna get there, and we're gonna build a great house, inshallah. And that's what really matters, is if you want to do something, you can do it as long as you set your mind to it. So, see you guys in the next one.